Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Welcome to Sajdah's Monday morning motivation. Ah, we're fresh off the financial trauma boot camp. It was amazing. And I just can't wait to motivate you this morning. So grab your coffee. I got mine with a little hazelnut creamer. And we'll be right back in about 3 or 4 minutes for Sajdah's Monday morning motivation. See you in a few.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to Sajdah's Monday morning motivation. How's everybody doing today? I hope you all are doing well. And we are fresh off financial trauma boot camp. And I want to thank each and every one of you who supported, who sponsored someone, who came and participated. And I pray that you got something out of it. I can't wait to take a look at your feedback today. But from my perspective, it was lit. It was amazing. Really amazing. You literally could feel the minds churning and changing as we navigated through the boot camp. Literally, you could feel people opening up to a new way of thinking and letting go of old fears and old traumas and old things that have been haunting them. You literally could feel that during the course of the webinar. It was a really surreal, I should say, feeling. Very surreal, incredible. Um, since Friday, we've been really, really working and focusing on high vibrations. That's been the goal. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that throughout the course of your day, okay, listen to me good, lean in, make sure that you are checking in and checking on yourself and asking yourself, how do I feel? How do I feel? How you feel is so very, very, very important. I was about to say anointing, but it's anointing too. Sister Monica said, Assalamu alaikum and blessed Monday. Yes, a time was had last evening. Look, that's my kind of nighttime entertainment right there. Working together with people, just figuring out how do we open up? How do we let go of some of this weight and some of this trauma that we've been holding on to? Good morning and happy morning. Happy Monday, Sister Betty. um, and I was saying to the group yesterday that I probably have spent over $100,000 after my formal education in certifications, in self-improvement, and working on some of this stuff. I'm talking about real deep study where I'm investing in myself, paying to learn. If I go to a workshop or a webinar and I get one thing from it that turns on a light bulb and I go, I know how to fix that now. Or, oh, okay, I know how to think about that better. I know how to tweak my thoughts on this. I know how to change my approach to that. It's worth it. It's worth it. You have to put just as much effort into self-improvement, okay, as the wealthy put into advertising, getting your attention, getting a few dollars out of you or a lot of dollars out of you. There's a lot of money tied up in monitoring you to make sure that they understand your and my behaviors, so that they know how to write the algorithm, so they can train the AI. A lot of money goes into that. And then a lot of money goes into controlling your thoughts, your behaviors, and then, like I said, then tracking it. So you gotta invest in yourself as well. And if you don't have a lot of money to be able to do that, you got YouTube University right here where you can attend events and things like that for free. You can study, you can take classes, you can listen to and read up on any subject that's important to you. And I encourage us because freedom ain't free. And we say out of one side of our mouth, okay, I want to be free of debt. I want to be free of manipulation. I want to do for self. I want to be able to sustain myself and survive and thrive and become wealthy off of my own creative endeavors. And I'm looking for an investor. Whatever it is, we say that, but oftentimes we're not willing to pay for it. We're still approaching doing for self the same way we approached getting a job. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, when you go to get a job, you invest a little, like you might buy a suit or a dress or an outfit so you can interview. You might spend some money on getting people to help you with your resume. Back in the day, we spent money on fancy linen paper to put our resumes on and things like that. People don't really do that anymore. But in trying to get a job, your real focus is, I'm looking for somebody to give me something. And what am I looking for them to give me? A job. And I'm saying, here are my qualifications. Please hire me and pay me. Not so much, here's how I want to be of service. And this is what I want in exchange. When you start approaching your job, your employment endeavors and your job searches like that, here's how I want to be of service, and this is how I want to get paid, it changes your mindset a little bit. But a lot of times we don't do that because we can't find a job in our field of study. So we may say, I want to be of service as an accountant, but I can't find a job as an accountant. Or I want to be of service as a pharmacist, but I can't really find a job as a pharmacist. But even still, approach it not in, I'm going to you because I want you to give me something. Approach it as, I'm going into this company, I'm applying online because I want to be of service in a particular manner as an accountant, as a marketing rep, as a cybersecurity person, whatever. And then this is what I want in exchange for my service. And it'll tweak your mindset a little bit. And then when you approach your business, it's the same thing, right? I want to be of service, whether it's as an independent contractor, whether I got a brick and mortar, whether I have a website I want you to come to and buy the services, but I want to be of service in this particular manner, and I'm asking this in exchange. So when you approach it the same, I tell all people, even if you're an employee, approach it as if it's your business. You are the corporation in that case. You are the entrepreneur. And this is just business for services. So when you look at your employment contract, when you look at the agreement, you should be looking at it the same way you would look at it if you were in business with that company. So start training your mind in that way, training your mind to be an entrepreneur instead of being an employee. And then I think you'll begin to see some mental shifts, and it'll prevent trauma if you end up losing your job. Think about that. Because nowadays, many people are not afforded the opportunity to have long-term employment at a particular company. Back in the day, our parents worked at companies 20 years, 30 years, and they worked there, they maintained, they raised their children, they put them through college, and then they retired and they started working there maybe in their 20s. Those opportunities are not as plentiful as they used to be. I think they say the average year that a person um, is on a job is somewhere between 3 to 5 years. So you're going to always be changing and evolving and moving until you get your own business. And even once you get your own business, your product, your service, the method of delivery is going to just have to continue to change. And so you may as well get used to that when you go into the workplace now. A lot of people are independent contractors. They're getting a 1099. Some people, you work at a company for 3 years and then it sells. Or they merge with something else and become something else. And now your job has changed. Or maybe now you lose your job. Sometimes companies buy out other companies. And so things change. It's always morphing. So you got to always be saying, here are different ways in which I can be of service. And here are the different ways in which I can attract what it is that I want. This is what I'm asking for in exchange for my service. Don't hesitate to get new certifications. Over the years, as a business consultant and as a business developer, I am always going for new certifications and studying something new and understanding the trends so that I can go into an environment and adapt. Okay. Sister Monica says, she said, wow, thanks, Sister Sajdah. I have always referred to even W-2 relationships as a project. My children used to call me Tommy, laughing. She don't have no job. Right. Yeah. I see people talking about Black jobs and white jobs and all of that. It's just all an exchange of service for income. And you may, if you find yourself in an industry that keeps morphing and changing, because sometimes you graduate and you go into an industry. Let's say you go into the tech world, and in the tech world, things are changing all the time. Companies are merging, they're spinning off divisions. All these things are happening, in that particular industry oftentimes. And so you got to get used to saying, okay, now it's time for something new. Let me move on to the next thing. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be nimble. Some of us are doing for self because we have no choice. It used to be where we had time to steal away. We had time to kind of bridge ourselves between our 9 to 5, and we had an opportunity. We had some time to take our hobby and turn it into a business, and we had time. But now, with the way the dollar is falling so quickly, the global economy is flattening, industries are changing, the economy and economic rules and laws are changing because the powers that be are trying to cushion the fall. And so when somebody is falling, they ain't got time to hold on to you. If you're not helping them to gain whatever it is that they're trying to gain as they're falling, like give me a life vest, give me some food, I might be down there a minute, whatever they need to survive, then they're going to start shedding you. And you see that a lot in government. You see it in government policy. You see it in politics, where there's this shedding of what is considered weight, because this economy, the people who are attached to the economy are in a free for all. They're falling and they're flowing through the atmosphere, and they're letting go. They're shedding stuff. So the question for you is, as these people, these wealthy people that you're attached to, begin to fall, are you falling with them? Because as they're falling, they're not letting you ride on their back and make their fall accelerate, they're dissing you. So you're floating out there in the atmosphere, they're falling. So you should be gaining your skill set so that you can elevate. You should be going towards the sun while they may be going away from the sun. How do you do that? First, you got to see yourself doing that. I have a meditation that I do after my prayers where spiritually, I see myself falling. And as I walk to the ledge and allow myself to fall in the meditation, I am letting everything inside of me that is not of service to me, that belongs to somebody else, that's heavy, I'm letting it fall. And then I'm rising to the sun. And I keep seeing myself rising until the sun opens up. And then I just meditate there and kind of bask in that sun. And if you practice it, it's really cool. But that's sort of my way of mimicking how I see myself, be it the will of Allah, surviving this fall, the fall of America, the flattening of the global economy. And so, just like the wealthy, I'm shedding anything that is weighing me down, anything that's not allowing me to relax and elevate and align. How do we do this in real life? Okay. Because we don't believe in a spook God. In real life, we're talking about healing. Healing is not a buzzword. It's not something we just say. The reason why a lot of people are talking about it, because a lot of people know intuitively that it's time to heal. They just may not know how to do it. But people know it's time. And there's a lot of people putting the work in. It may not be everybody. And people are putting the work in their own way. But healing and shedding traumas that we've made gods in our lives, and this polytheistic behavior where we're worshiping our problems and our challenges and our issues instead of focusing on our creativity and reinventing ourselves and going inside of ourselves and studying ourselves and, falling in love with ourselves over and over and over again. Instead of that, we're busy focused on what's making us fall. And the idea is, think of it like you're in a free-for-all. You got to let that go. You got to let it go, let it fall, and you keep elevating. Let me know in the chat if this makes sense, but that's how we got to begin to think about these things. Got to let that stuff go. We have to keep moving on. See, when you get so busy, focused on your self-improvement, your creativity, how you're going to elevate, you really ain't got time to be worrying about what grid somebody else is plugged into. What I mean by grid is what they own over there. You ain't got time. You ain't got time to be focused on where they are in their level of development. You just ain't got time for it. You're busy. You're busy trying to make sure you learn. You're busy trying to make sure that you're focused. You're busy trying to make sure that you shed the things that are weighing you down. Good morning, Mom. Thank you all. Thank you, Sister Betty. This is a little bit of a shift in some of our old school thinking that some of us may be attached to, that maybe we learned from our parents or our grandparents. You got to find your tribe. You may have to shed so many things, so many people, places, and things where you find yourself feeling like you're alone. Well, then the next step as you're healing and shedding is to now work on being attractive. Attractive to who? Attractive to those that align and are spiritually aligned with you, with your products, your services, your brand. people who are spiritually aligned and have the means and the wherewithal to support what you're doing. Whether you got a home health agency, whether you got real estate, whether you're in cybersecurity, whether you're a dancer, whether you're a singer, whatever it is, what you want is to attract people that see you as necessary. Here's a key point. Because nowadays, when we start thinking about people who are popular, the illusion is, let me just get a lot of followers. Let me just get a lot of people. But you can have 1 million followers. And those 1 million followers, of them, maybe you got 500 that would give you $1,000 a month for your product or service. As opposed to if you had 2,500 followers and 2,000 of them gave you $1,000 a month for your product or services. You do the math. So it's about the quality, not so much the quantity. Now, the quantity can be important if you're trying to leverage a deal where your quantity is important. Okay. If we want a Mind of an Entrepreneur television show, we have to get, if we want somebody else to finance it, we'd have to have our numbers up. Okay. So they could see, oh, they can draw numbers. But it's more than one way to skin a cat. Because we know the algorithm is cheating us and not giving us the numbers that we're looking for. So we find a way to finance it ourselves. And then we own it and we keep all the money. That's that Tyler Perry Master P model. Even the Oprah Winfrey model. Find a way, finance it yourself. Own it. Own your content. Own your brand. Own your services. Any questions from either financial financial trauma boot camp last night, or from anything that's on your mind that you guys want to chat about or talk about in this last 30 minutes that we have together this morning? Because a lot of times as you start navigating these thought processes, you might get stuck and you might have something that you're not quite ready to get around. And here's how you know whether or not you get stuck. Some people are so arrogant and they're so busy faking it. They're so busy pretending that they don't realize that they're on a hamster wheel and have been hitting a brick wall for months, maybe even years. They don't realize it. They get up every morning and they're doing the same thing. This happens with a lot of people that are in sales. They get up every morning and they're making the calls, taking meetings, and they're taking up so much of their precious time making phone calls to one individual at a time and taking meetings with one person at a time, that over time, over a course of weeks, over a course of months, they're really not elevating and growing. It's just the same thing over and over again. So if you're a salesperson, you got to sit down with somebody and figure out, how do I multiply my efforts? So how do I go somewhere where I can speak to 20 people instead of calling and making phone calls or having meetings with 5 people a day? For example, that's if you're selling like a particular product or service. So you want to think about, how do I multiply those efforts? How do I expand that? How do I create an opportunity where I'm doubling and tripling my money every month or every year or every quarter, depending on what you see as realistic for your business model? How do I do that? And sometimes it's good to get a coach and be honest to help you do that. Because when you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm just going to call more people, well, that may or may not work. I had a coaching client the other day who sells auto insurance. And he was saying that he's kind of been at the same income level for a long time. And I said, that's because you got these one-on-one transactions going. So what you got to do is figure out, where do I go where I multiply my efforts? Maybe somebody else is working for me. Maybe I have a satellite office in a car dealership where I'm working one-on-one with a car dealer, so that when they sell cars in person or online, they're referring people to me who come in who don't have insurance before they take their car off the lot. Because if they finance it, then the finance company is going to require that they have insurance. Well, I can be right there. Maybe that's an opportunity for you. So we talked about that. It was something that he had shied away from. And I said, well, that's actually potentially very good, because now that car dealership, in essence, becomes one of your employees almost. They're selling for you. So we just talked about different ways that he can speak to larger groups and access larger groups. We brainstormed on not only the car dealerships and things like that, but even advertising, because he does a lot of online advertising. We talked about advertising along with car dealership ads. So when you go shop for your new Buick, you see so-and-so insurance right up under there. So we just talked about all of these different things, even going up on campuses. His company has discount services for college students. And so maybe going up there and offering people a rate that's below average or a special is going to get you a number of clients at once, as opposed to this kind of one-on-one thing that he had been doing. So I just wanted to give you guys that as an example. So if you're selling one widget an hour, how do you sell faster? What's the business model? Okay, so let me see what we got this week before we go, if y'all don't have any questions. Tomorrow morning on the State of Black Business, I'm deciding whether or not I want to go a little bit deeper into corporate governance. I know some of you emailed, texted, and I spoke to you. You enjoyed that conversation. We may take one of the principles and go a little bit deeper. I'll look into that. And then Thursday night, we are on the next chapter of the book. It's about the competitive mind. It is chapter 6. So chapter 6 of my book, Define Success for Yourself, Avoid the Perils of the Competitive Mind. And we're going to break that down a little bit, because a lot of us get so confused. We think everything is a competition, like we in the Olympics or something. Everything's a game. And that can be a very devastating way to live. It's a quick way to shorten your existence. Stop competing with people. Run your race. Quickest way to mess up a friendship. Quickest way to put yourself in a position where you lose relationships. Quickest way. So we're going to talk about that. And then we got Friday and Saturday, which is the Sajdah Morning Coffee Talks. We'll talk about that. We have as a community, we have the janazah for our beloved sister, Karen Farrakhan. May Allah be pleased with her, on Saturday. And a lesson that I learned with Sister Karen is follow up with each other and maintain relationships. And when you get the urge to reach out to somebody, reach out to them. Last time I saw Karen in the hallway of Christ Universal Temple Church, she said, Sister Wendy. And I remember I turned around and we hugged and we talked. She started telling me about her grandchildren. And she said, call me. We got to catch up and laugh. And we used to have this thing back in the day where whenever I would see Karen, we would always find something funny and we would just be laughing and we would laugh and talk about music. And she said, let's just get together and do that. And I never called her. I never followed up. Next thing I know, I got a call that she was ill. So reach out. That's a big lesson learned. Reach out to people when you feel the urge. And I will tell you that even after that, something kept telling me, call Karen, call Karen. I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. Okay, I'm going to call her tomorrow. I'll call her next weekend. And then the next weekend, I never had the opportunity. So reach out to people, reach out to your family members, reach out to your loved ones. If they're on your mind, reach out, give them a call. Let's do better with building community and loving one another and connecting with one another. We can't necessarily stop God's will, but we can certainly connect with each other better and do a better job at loving on each other. All right, family. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a happy Monday. Make sure the goal this week is make sure you're checking in with yourself and asking yourself, how am I feeling? Even if you got to set an alarm on your phone, ask yourself, how am I feeling? You may say, I'm feeling angry right now. And if you find yourself saying, I'm feeling angry, I don't know why, stop. And change your vibration. If you can't figure out what just made you angry so you can turn it around, don't spend time going down a rabbit hole. Stop for a minute and then figure out what thoughts you need to inject in your mind, what you need to see, what you need to do to raise your vibration again so you're not angry. You may say, how am I feeling? I'm feeling nervous. All right. Start asking. When I get stuff like that, I start saying, okay, Allah, download into me the information that I need to prevent me from being nervous. I know that nervousness and fear is just lack of information. What do I need? Or I may say, I know, and this is being metaphysical, on a quantum level, that everything is going to work out and that my spirit knows exactly what to do. But here I am in my conscious mind, I don't get it. And since I can't figure it out, I'm getting nervous. So help me ease my mind. I need a example. I need you to show me that you're here. And God works so quick. He'll just start coming to you. Sometimes you may say, I just got mad. Stop. But check in with yourself. What is most important is how you are feeling. If you check in with yourself and you say, I'm feeling jealous. I can't stand her, or he makes me sick. I'm feeling some kind of way. I feel a little insecure because they got something I don't have. They seem like they got themselves together. Stop and check yourself and figure out what you need to do to get yourself out of that state. Do not go down a rabbit hole. Don't call your homegirl and start talking about how scared you are and then make her scared too. Check in with yourself. That's right, Sister Betty. Check in with yourself and fix and tweak your own mindset right then and there. Soon as you catch it, soon as you find it, okay, what do I need to do? And if you don't know what to do, it's when you start praying. God, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I just feel an overwhelming sense of nervousness. Is it something you're trying to show me? Is this something you're trying to tell me? Is this just my mind? Am I on a hamster wheel all of a sudden? Help me, show me that you're present. Show me what my next best move needs to be. Help me by letting me know that you're here. Or remind yourself every time I get worried, every time I get stressed, God is right here. Always helping me to manifest, always helping me to get to that next level, always there for me. All I got to do is make sure I look for him in everything. Check in with yourself. Learn what conversations you need to have with yourself to fix yourself. And then even then, this will help you with your language that you have with yourself. Because if your language is creating more anxiety, then you're saying the wrong thing. So check in with yourself. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Love you all very much. Let's catch up. I'll see you all tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Stay tuned for the next boot camp that we're going to be planning this week. And I'll get the information out here to you as soon as we have it set up and planned. And what we're doing with these boot camps, after the boot camp is over, we are not offering the recording to the public, because what we don't want is for people to come and get the recording and steal the information, start doing it themselves, or for scam artists to go, oh, I can get close to this and pretend like this is where I got this information from, create a distraction, so I can do something crazy over here, all these things. So you're going to have to come and invest and be down in order to get the benefit. You saw somebody in the chat talk about how amazing it was. We could not have asked for a better night. So, okay, family, peace and blessings. Love you all. If you are enjoying this information, make sure you give a love offering. Sajdah Enterprises, get used to investing in yourself. And you can still support the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. I've been kind of keeping things under the vest and being a little bit quiet because in my transparency, the enemy has been able to make some moves. So we're going to come out with some announcements very, very soon. Hopefully, inshallah, in the next week or so. But if you want sponsorships, you can just go to supportsajdahhouse.com if you want to become a sponsor, or you can email me at sajdahhouse. Send an email to sajdahhouse@gmail.com. Okay. And make sure that you like and subscribe and tell a friend. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Love you. There's information coming up on how to book me if you want to scale your business, start a business, solve a problem, or you just need some personalized coaching to help you see past your blind spots. All right. Love you all.